Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of HP Critical, a podcast where my friends and I talk all things gaming. I'm Jarrell, and I'm joined by Christy.
Hi, everybody.
And Brandon.
Hello.
And returning co-host after like months of being away, Gabe.
Hello, everyone.
All right, so usually I would start with, just going straight into gaming. But I first want to say, unfortunately, Kelly's still not here because she's very, very busy. Hopefully, we'll get her back in the future. Kelly, we miss you. Secondly, Gabe, welcome back. It has been
Thank you very much.
a very, what's the word? Streamlined podcast without you, and I mean that in the most we miss your chaotic views way. And Christy, of course, thank you for constantly being here weekly as a wonderful stand-in. It's been great to talk to you, obviously, and Brandon for your continued appearance and loyalty. You're awesome. You guys are the best co-hosts. It's been a very long time. I also want to apologize for anybody who missed the podcast for the last 2 weeks. Things happen, unfortunately, and everybody's busy, and we've all got other jobs, and lots of things are going on. And yeah, literally a hurricane last week, so apologies for that. But we are back. Thank you for those of you who continue to listen. And I think I'll start with what have you guys been playing? Because it's been a while. So what have you guys been playing?
It's been my rotation's been pretty much Splatoon 3 and Octopath Traveler Champions of the Continent the last few weeks. Pretty much it.
I guess I should know. Well, I was out with COVID for about 3.5 weeks. And I stayed home for about 5 weeks with symptoms and whatnot. So during that time, I finished Digimon Survive. I finished 3 Houses. I finished the Somnian Files. I also finished Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and also the Torna DLC. And I'm making great progress in Bravely Default 2. So it's been great.
Wow.
That's games.
That is 6.5 games, and those are long games too.
Yeah.
Beat that, everybody.
This is the true power of Miss Speedrunner. I just want everyone listening to know that.
I feel like I also finished another game, but I can't remember what it was. So we'll figure it out later.
I've been playing Bayonetta 3. What about you, Gabe?
I've been playing. I'm not gonna list every game I played since I've been gone. I thought about it. I was like, why did I do that? But my most frequent games have been Valheim, Spider-Man, Miles Morales.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly, Smash Bros is not on that list.
I'm very sad to hear that. Today is the 1-year anniversary of Sora being announced in Smash Bros.
Wow, is it really?
It's been a year.
Oh my gosh, what a dookie character.
Hold on.
Sorry.
Can I interrupt real quick? Did no one else catch that?
Nope.
Okay.
You cannot because I don't want to get in trouble. Let's keep
Okay.
going.
Okay. All right.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. I haven't been playing anything. It was a joke. I've not been playing anything.
Oh, okay.
Wow, this is double my list.
No, go ahead. It's because Brandon was gonna say something about something that we can't talk about.
I want to know now.
No, we can't.
What?
Unbelievable.
What happened?
Soul Hackers 2, Persona
how are you
5.
liking it?
It's such a it's weird to say, but like I like the pace more because it's adults and not high school
Soul
kids.
Hackers?
Yeah, Soul Hackers. They're not high school kids. Obviously though, I still think Persona 5 is a lot better. But still, it's a nice change of pace for the game style.
Where were you like when I was playing Persona 5 by myself when all these people stopped and I was yelling at them to finish so I could have talked to you about it? Where were you, Gabe? Not at HP Critical. Why not? Because we weren't hiring.
Because it's not my fault. And then the last game I've been playing, I don't know if this really counts because I only played one match, but I've already logged in about 3 hours on the game, waiting in queue. Overwatch 2.
That wasn't to you. I'm sorry. That was
I know.
Okay.
And that's man. I hope when I get the time, I'm definitely gonna write about why are all these game companies launching games that are not ready for day one? Although this one, they had the DDO, they had the DDoS attack, so better security. But yeah, those are the games I've been playing aside from my mobile. Oh, sorry, something else. No, that's actually just me and Jarrell conversation. Never mind.
Wait, what?
Because I have more memory on my phone now. So I'm gonna ask you, aside from the Final Fantasy mobile games, what other mobile games should I get?
Heroes.
Oh, okay,
Fire
I
yeah.
Emblem
have Fire Emblem
Heroes.
Heroes. I never delete
I
Fire
love-
Emblem Heroes.
I love that game.
The game is fun. It's one of those games, one of those mobile games where like I could play, with one hand while focusing on a video or something.
Or you just do auto battle.
I don't like auto battle because I feel
Easy.
like I'm not playing the game. I feel like I'm cheating.
Exactly.
That's
It's
not
great.
fair.
I mean, you had to build your units. So, I mean, you already put in the work. So might as well just, auto battle your way through until
That's
you're
fair.
on lunatic mode, in which case you're like, oh, well, I guess I need to work for it.
Auto battle your way through into lunatic mode and then try to be fun. All right, so let's move on to a little bit of news because we have a lot to cover because we haven't had a podcast for like 2 weeks and we have lots of opinions, I'm sure. But I want to start with Overwatch 2 just because that's been a personal one that I want to rant about for just a minute
Go
if
for
you
it. Let's go.
don't mind. So, for anyone who for anyone who doesn't know, I was a huge Overwatch fan. My friends and I used to play every day, competitive, ranked, all of that. I've been playing for the past 6 years. I have the big like Overwatch original box that it came in. Like I bought the collector's edition. I have multiple Overwatch statues. I was a huge proponent of Overwatch when Jeff Kaplan was in charge. I have spent money on Overwatch aside from buying the disc. I bought a Mercy skin to support breast cancer awareness. I've been dabbling a little bit in the Overwatch League. I was very invested in Overwatch until I found out that Blizzard was trash. Now, I decided, you know what? It's been a while. Let me give them another chance because the COO of Blizzard, I believe, is going to be stepping down with the possible merger that's coming up, which is a story we'll talk about soon. I was like, you know what? I'll give it another chance. I'll see what it's like. I really enjoyed Overwatch when I played it. So I went in, I connected my Battle.net account. So for anyone who doesn't know, for cross progression, you have to connect a Battle.net Blizzard account to your Overwatch account so that you can have cross progression, so that you can access all of your things across whatever platform you decide to play this game on. So I went in and did that, assuming that I'd be ready for Overwatch 2. So, of course, as you guys already know, there have been DDoS attacks. You can't get into the servers even when you can. People are constantly getting kicked out. When I first got in, it was a 40,000 person wait queue. It literally said 40,000 people. I waited. I got in eventually after 40,000 people. I got in, and the first thing I noticed, well, actually, no. Before I could get in, Blizzard has decided that the best way to combat cheaters in Overwatch is to have people tie their Battle.net account to a cell phone number. And in their words, I'm going to paraphrase it, but basically in their words, previously, to combat cheaters, you had to purchase Overwatch. Therefore, if you wanted to make another account, you'd have to drop another $60 in essence to be able to have multiple accounts and cheat your way through Overwatch. Which, whatever, I don't know why it even matters that much. It's fucking Overwatch. Nobody cares. If you cheat, like, wow, you're fucking gold. Nobody gives a shit. You're not getting money for it. But anyway. Previously, you had to buy into Overwatch, whether it was the $20 on sale, whether it was a $60 retail price, whatever it was, that was their way to keep people from cheating with multiple accounts. It was by having people pay for it. Because Overwatch is free to play now, they decided that you have to tie your account to a phone number, and that phone number can only be associated with one single Battle.net account. Therefore, if you want to cheat, you now have to have multiple phone numbers to be able to tie your account to a phone number so that you can play. Now, before I move on to the other shit, I do want you guys' opinions on this because as of now, anyone who uses a voice over internet provider or a prepaid phone cannot tie their accounts to their cell phones via Blizzard. So a friend of mine who uses Cricket, which is a cell phone provider, or a cell phone service provider, here where I'm at. It is technically considered a prepaid phone plan. It is a regular phone. He has a nice phone, like a nice Samsung phone. He's been playing Overwatch for years. He cannot play Overwatch 2 because he cannot link to his phone that is active and that he's using right now because it is considered a prepaid phone because of Blizzard's decision. So, first, I want to know how you guys feel about linking your actual cell phone number to a video game account. And then secondly, how you feel about the fact that, and of course they want to combat people from just buying prepaid phones to then make multiple accounts. Like that's the point. And essentially what they said was it's gonna suck for, the good people that are getting hit by this, but it's a surefire way to prevent cheating. So that's basically their sentiment. They're like, yeah, we know that some good people are going to be hit by this, but in the overall, we kind of have only decided that this is the best way to go forward. So before I move on to the other issues with Overwatch, how do you guys feel about a video game company asking you to tie your phone number to your account? And first, let's start with that, actually. How do you guys feel with a video game company asking you to tie your phone number to your account?
I don't like it.
I'm not feeling it.
Like, you would have to have really great security. But apparently, some game companies don't have the greatest security. So, yeah,
So
no.
So for you guys, anyone who wants to actually elaborate, why don't you like it?
Well, I mean, this is just me, but I feel like gaming companies get hacked way too often. Which sounds funny to say because you don't really hear about it a lot, but I feel like they get hacked way too often for me to be giving personal information like that. Like, it's bad enough that I gotta link my email sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't tell you how many times, I've woken up and I get on Twitter and I see someone saying, "Oh, Sony's been hacked. Everyone's email is being blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "Oh, brother, here we go again. Let me change my password again. Let me do this. Let me do that." So putting something as personal as my phone number, which you just know once, if it gets hacked, if the company gets hacked, they're going to sell our phone numbers to scammers and we're going to get an increase in more scam calls. I'm not a fan of that. That's why I don't like it.
So it's a security thing for you.
Absolutely.
And I'm assuming it's the same for Chrissy and Brandon.
Yeah, exactly. Getting doxxed is not fun, and numbers.
I didn't hear anything you said, Christy. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Sorry, Brandon. I'm okay. Sorry, Christy. I couldn't hear you, but Brandon, go ahead.
No, I finished.
I didn't hear what you said while I was talking because I couldn't hear. I'm sorry.
Nice. All right, I was saying no is exactly what you said. A security issue. Yeah, getting doxxed is not fun. You don't want your number out there. Yeah, pretty much what Gabe said.
And Christy, what were you saying?
Honestly, you really don't want your number out there, especially when video game companies have proven they really don't have the greatest security.
Fair point. So I didn't actually, and this might surprise people, I didn't actually have an issue with giving Blizzard my phone number, mostly because I don't really think about that, because low-key, I don't get phone calls. I literally I'm a person who texts all the time, so if you call me, I probably will not answer and I'll respond to you via text, because I just don't use my phone for phone calls, period. And that didn't really bother me. It might be weird, but I really didn't care. Because it's not something that I think, oh no, they're gonna get, they're gonna get attacked. They're gonna have my phone number. I ain't special. It is what it is. Y'all are just gonna call me and I'm gonna hang up. But I understand why people are concerned. Now, what I really was annoyed with was the fact that there are hundreds of players, possibly thousands of players, who knows, that are now unable to play a free-to-play game because of the decisions that Blizzard made. And so I want to get your opinions on that as well. Obviously, I don't think it was a smart idea to not allow prepaid and voice over internet providers to be able to play Overwatch 2. I think it was the dumbest thing that you could do, because you should never, a company I think should never try to punish people more so than protect those that are players. And I feel like I'm saying that in a really weird way, but basically, if it's going to harm a number of your players, I don't think you should do it, even if it is good at stopping cheaters, is my sentiment. I would rather just have people fucking cheat, because I don't know what the worst thing that people can do is if they're cheating in Overwatch. Like, wow, you can't get banned because you're a really bad person. And, you'll have to figure out a different way to ban people. Yeah, of course there are racist, sexist, and homophobic idiots all through Overwatch. Like, I get it. And I understand that you're trying to prevent things like that, but I don't think innocent people should be harmed because of the bad people in the world, is basically where I'm at with this. But I am curious as to how you guys feel about the fact that there are people that cannot play because Blizzard is trying to basically protect their service and protect everyone from cheaters.
The fact that certain phone plans are just not compatible with this initiative they're doing just seems remarkably short-sighted to me. Like putting aside my concerns about the security that I mentioned before, on paper it doesn't seem like the worst idea to make an account. But the fact that, again, like you said, that certain people can't even do that because of this is kind of nonsense, to be quite frank. It's oof.
I just can't believe they didn't have some alternative. Now, they did say that they're working on it currently, but how did y'all launch with no alternative?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, if I only have a landline in which I cannot receive text messages, or if my phone service is switched, or my phone number is switched, or my phone doesn't work, or I don't have a phone for whatever reason because I am unable to access a cell phone, why is it that I'm punished and I can't play this free-to-play game? That makes zero sense to me. There are other free-to-play games that are handling cheating in better ways. Like, I just don't understand why there was no failsafe for this. I'm sorry. Yeah. So Chrissy or Gabe, if you guys want to chime in.
They didn't think it through at all. Somebody just saw it on paper, like, great idea, let's go with it. And no one was like, oh, nope, there's nothing wrong with this. And then after that, they started getting into complaints and on launch day, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, guess what, guys? We have a problem now.
But that's the thing. They know. Like, they came out and said, yes, we know that they said we know that there are players, that there are good players that this is affecting. They said that. They're like, yeah, we understand that there are good players that this is affecting, but overall, it's for the better of the game to have this in play. And it basically, I'm paraphrasing, but they said, it sucks that there are good players that are being punished because of this, but they went forward with it.
Oh,
I'm just dumb at that point.
Well, I'm guessing since it's free to play now and you're not dishing out the $60 or $70 to buy the game, they're thinking, oh, we can do things like this where we can present something that's, blocking a problem. But if this thing that's presented presents another problem, since it's a free to play game, we can just say, we're working on it. We'll update it eventually. Because as the player, you're not actually, spending money on the game this time. That's just the way I see it.
Yeah, so I'll read you guys a quote. It says, SMS Protect focuses a bit on the bad actors and the players who are willing to use cheats and potentially are willing to cycle through many, many accounts. We pretty actively are trying to detect and find users who have anomalous gameplay, with standout gameplay behavior, or are detected by the cheat fingerprints that we might make. But if that player gets the account banned and is able to immediately just rejoin with a new account when all the detection in the world won't stop us from keeping bad actors out of the game. We need to make the cost for being willing to cheat a little bit higher for those players. Losing an account in Overwatch 2 is a much more significant penalty than it was in Overwatch 1. It's totally reasonable for players to have multiple accounts, but by opening that up as a loophole, it would reduce the integrity and the value of adding SMS Protect across the board. The Overwatch team, this is the important part, the Overwatch team weighed up the pros and cons of the impact of SMS Protect on players with multiple accounts who play competitively fairly. However, they determined that it was more important to have a more formidable defense against trolls and cheaters. So there you go. They decided they understand that there are limitations. However, with this system, there's apparently no loophole so far that they could figure out. So
someone's gonna figure it out.
All I thought was someone is going to find a way to not have to provide a phone number, and then they're going to share it, and then I'm going to think y'all are dumb. Anyway, to wrap up this Overwatch conversation, so I joined, DDoS attacks, nobody can play, all the lobbies are getting kicked out, and then as I joined, 6 years of content is completely gone because my account has not properly merged. So I have to go through tutorials, and all the characters are locked because that's how free-to-play games work. I've lost all of my stuff, all of my cosmetics, anything I spent money on, all of my rank, everything's completely gone. Once I saw that, turned the game off, have not tried again. So,
I mean,
yeah, fix your shit.
Would not blame you, because that would kill my soul to
exactly.
have 6 years is like the closest comparison I have to that is like when you spend a long time in a game and your save file just gets deleted. But 6 years of I have a recent example of that. Kingdom Hearts.
I'm so sorry.
Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, the that mobile game that came out recently, was an online game. It was like a service game, whatever. Wasn't doing well, so they did it offline. My stuff also didn't merge, so all the stuff that I got from during the time it was online did not transfer over. So I didn't play that game. I just watched the cutscenes online because I wasn't gonna do it.
Yeah.
I was not gonna do hours of content just to get to the new stuff. I was just like, let me just watch this. So
Yeah. And they have the battle pass model, so you have to buy the battle pass, and you can buy it with in-game currency. I have enough in-game currency to buy the next 11 battle passes. That's how much coin I had saved up for Overwatch 2. I specifically did not spend it. I have 0 coins now. I can't even buy the current battle pass. I literally just wanted to try out the new hero. I can't even do that. I can't do shit right now. So I'm very upset. Very, very upset. And I put in a ticket, and they were just like, yeah, we know this is happening. We're going to try to fix it.
all right. Hopefully they do.
But
everything that they said.
we have no time frame for how or when we're gonna fix it. That's what they said.
Oh, that's what I was gonna ask you about that drill. When you were on the main menu, was it allowing you to open up the account merge option
In Overwatch 2?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, just making sure because it wasn't letting me do it either. And I was like, is it that it's still loading or what? No, I guess it's not letting anyone do it then.
Well, there are some people who have had no problems that are playing on their
Must
own
be
account.
nice.
So.
Yeah.
I know. I know.
Like, honestly, the only thing that bothered me the most was not seeing my previous stats.
Yes.
Like when I went to my profile, I was excited to see all my stuff again. I'm like, it says 0. I'm like, all right, I guess I've never played this game before, but
yeah.
but yeah, that's what I had to say.
I
feel the pain in your
Me
voice,
too.
in both your voices.
To make it worse, and this is the last thing I'll say about this, but to make it worse, I had almost everything unlocked for a lot of characters. Like, I've spent years on this game. There are 32, I think, characters. I had so much already unlocked. I was ready to go in. I was like level over 500 something. I had been platinum at one point. Like, this is a game I'm actually good at, and I'm barely good at any games that aren't turn-based. So like this was a serious thing for me to lose. So I'm very, very disappointed in that. Anyway, so Fanbyte interviewed Street Fighter 6 director Takayuki Nakayama and the producer Matsumoto, and the pair mentioned that they enjoyed the process of creating new characters, and Kimberly is the foremost example of what a difference that makes. Quote, a lot of people on the team are fans of black culture, Nakayama said. In order to make her as authentic as possible, we spoke with many black employees within the company. We also hired consultants to help us design the character and her mannerisms. Nakayama mentioned that one of the things that defines Street Fighter to him is a diverse set of characters from all over the world, and ensuring that they are real and authentic is an important part of the development. Both Nakayama and Matsumoto repeatedly emphasized that open communication is a priority for them in Street Fighter 6, a lesson that they learned while working on Street Fighter 5, and believe that designing characters authentically is part of that ethos. If you have seen Kimberly, if you haven't seen Kimberly, go check out any trailers for Street Fighter 6. She looks awesome. She got a big ass forehead, but she looks awesome, and I'm super duper excited to see her. And she really does. Go look at any pictures. She got a big ass forehead. But I'm super excited, and I definitely wanted to bring this up because for them to mention that they are fans of black culture and realize that they want to do something properly, and then not only ask people within the community but go out of their way to hire consultants, that is what it takes to be able to make characters. Does the efforts, especially when you're working on a game as big as Street Fighter 6. And I'll say that the fighting game community is usually one of the most open and welcome and inviting communities, and a part of that, I believe, based on a PhD article, a PhD study that I had began to write that I quit because school sucks. Don't listen to anything I just said. I'm so sorry.
Oh, he's not wrong.
Would you like to talk more about that, Jarrell?
Not at all. I want to talk more about forgiving my student loans. But Kelly's not here, so I can't have that conversation now. Anyway, it's just proven that fighting game communities are more open and accepting because the characters in fighting games have been for so long before other genres so diverse. And they've really developed. We've got every spectrum of person is represented in some form of fighting game at some point. I can mention, trans characters and non-binary characters in the recently released what wow, that game's name is blanking
Guilty Gear?
in my head right now. Yes, thank
Guilty
you,
Gear
Guilty
Strive.
Gear Strive. Yes. Things like that, and then things like this. It's 2022, and they're still taking time to properly implant these characters into their video games in respectful ways. So I just wanted to bring that up. I'll move on unless anybody has anything to say about that one.
Yeah, I actually got to give the developers their flowers for this because, like, we've talked so long about, the importance of not only having diversity in gaming, but, like, making it authentic. And so when I read this interview ahead of this, talking about it here on the podcast, I just felt so happy because they're doing it. I want more,
Yeah.
I want more developers to do this, like to have real diversity in a meaningful way, in a way that feels authentic. I feel it's a feel good story, and I just really hope it's a sign for something, more in the future. And like you said, fighting games are probably some of the most diverse, have the most diversity of like most video game genres. And Street Fighter especially, like even from the beginning, the whole point of Street Fighter 2 was like, fighters from around the world are all clashing in this big tournament, and that has continued over the series. So for them to continue that with 6 in this way that's, again, authentic, it's great. I want to see more.
Same. 100% agree. Phil Spencer says that he hasn't given up on bringing Square Enix's popular MMO Final Fantasy XIV to Xbox, despite first pledging to do so nearly 3 years ago. There's that. It's crazy that they have been trying for 3 years and it still hasn't happened. Just give up. Just give up. Go buy a PlayStation. Go play on PC. Go get a Steam Deck and play on that. Just don't try to play on Xbox.
I'm a bit skeptical about this statement, and here's why I'm skeptical. Obviously, it would be in Microsoft's best interest to have 14 on their platform because that is one of the biggest MMOs out there right now, and obviously that would get a potential good amount of people to play it. Of course, to keep that player base growing both on the Xbox and for Square Enix. But I wonder if Microsoft might have placed their bets on Phantasy Star Online 2 as like the big online. It's like, oh, who needs 14 when we got this MMO available right here on the Xbox? And, Phantasy Star Online 2 has its own community for sure. Like, I don't want to downplay that. But at the same time, it's nowhere near to the size of where 14's is. And that, of course, is like, due to the fact that it's both on like, it took forever Phantasy Star Online 2 to come out in the West, just to be clear. And that, of course, hurt its momentum a lot for those who would have wanted to play it long term, for sure. And the fact that it's only on Xbox as well is the other reason, that in the West at least. So yeah, I'm sure now more than ever, seeing that Fantasy Online didn't light the world on fire like they wanted it to, that they're going back to the whole no, we're trying to get 14 on there. Don't worry, we'll get there.
What's also so interesting about this is that like Microsoft has done such a push for play our games anywhere. So I'm just like, why do y'all even like care that people are not playing this on Xbox? Like, I get it because you want people to like have the option to play it on Xbox, but y'all have been pushing me towards every other thing. So like, why do you care that I'm not playing this on Xbox?
Our statement doesn't matter until it's on the Xbox.
Until it's on the Xbox. Also,
I was going to say that at this point, Sony could just leverage it to get a better deal for Call of Duty.
Well,
be like, hey guys, we can talk to Square and see what we can do. But before that, Call of Duty was our new contract.
That would be great.
As long as you be like, there's no guarantees that you'll get on Xbox, but however, we'll pledge, we'll talk to them for you.
I don't. Not that this 14 is a Sony property, because it's not, obviously. But it just reminded me of something funny, like the whole thing with MLB The Show now coming out on Xbox and Switch, because that was and is still a PlayStation property, but MLB was like, the fuck, you can't have this just on PlayStation, put it everywhere. So they reluctantly had to, even though they're still developing it. So then you get the weird situation where MLB The Show is available now on Switch, of course, and it had that trial 2 months ago where you could play the game for free for about 7 days. And man, I just want to. I don't know if I said this about it. It was so weird booting up a Switch game and seeing the PlayStation Studios logo pop up. I was like, what world am I in? Anyway, I
So,
just want to say that. Yeah.
for anyone who doesn't know, the reason that 14 is still not on Xbox is because there are, according to Naoki Yoshida, there are two regulations that Microsoft has that are standing in the way of making this possible. Which is one of them is crossplay, and the other one is chatting. So unless Microsoft were to lift the issue with crossplay and lift the issue with cross-platform chats, you cannot essentially play Final Fantasy 14 on Xbox. And this is what he said like 3 years ago, and those regulations are apparently still in place. And you cannot make a community with plays on a different platform, so you can't form a guild, you can't enter into a link shell, you can't have a free company. So Microsoft would have to change their current regulations to allow for those things to happen via crossplay before Final Fantasy 14 can come to Xbox. So it is not a PlayStation thing, it's not a Sony thing, it's not a Square Enix thing. It is 100% regulations that Microsoft has in place that are preventing these things from happening. They have not been able to change these regulations for the past 3 years, though, so... That's an unexpected. Go ahead, Chrissy.
A couple years ago, didn't Sony run into some issue with crossplay for another game where they like refused for crossplay?
Well, they charged extra money for crossplay, but You're right. Yes, first they did refuse, and then when like people gave a backlash, they charged the companies more money to actually implement crossplay. So the companies have to pay PlayStation for crossplay. Microsoft, on the other hand, has like their own regulations about crossplay that won't allow like if I'm on Xbox and Gabe is on PC or rather PS5, Microsoft's regulations won't allow me to chat with him on his PS5 from my Xbox.
Okay,
it's interesting
via MMO.
It feels like we're in a weird, bizarre world that this issue that we can't get this on Xbox is because Xbox won't allow this cross-play or cross-progression thing, because it feels like only yesterday where we were having a conversation about Sony being stringent with its whole cross-play rules, and the whole reason that 14 can't come to Xbox is essentially the opposite thing. It's so bizarre. I think
because it's, and just to throw this out there really quickly, it is different from, because I think some people might be confused. It is not the same because it's an MMO with a different structure and they have specific data centers and everything. It is not the same as something like Fortnite, right? Like it's not the same as these other crossplay. It's not the same as Overwatch. Because there is a first of all, there's a PC medium between all of them, but the regulations for MMOs specifically are going to be different, and that's why we can get crossplay from other games and not specifically an MMO, which is another reason that you were Phantasy Star Online.
Phantasy Star Online 2, yeah.
That's another reason that one is going to be an exclusive, because if you have regulations for MMOs that don't allow for crossplay, you can't bring it on PlayStation if it's going to be on Xbox.
Makes sense.
You know what might help with that a little bit? The fact that these consoles are now getting the Discord app as something you can download. So that could be a nice loop. No, I'm not going to say loophole. It could be a nice way of tackling the chatting part of the regulations and stuff.
Then they'd still have to change being able to
there's still other things that have to change, but
when
it comes to like the chatting stuff, that could be a nice workaround.
I mean, it's giving me real. It's giving me no, it's not. It's giving me real. It's not. I hate Discord. It's giving me real Switch vibes. It's giving me real. Everybody join the Nintendo Switch app so we can talk online vibes, and I'm not feeling it because that app is not great. Anyway, there is an update on gambling on Twitch. Gambling content on Twitch has been a big topic of discussion in the community and something we've been actively reviewing since our last policy update in this area. Today we want to update you on our plans. While we prohibit sharing links of referral codes, to all sites that include slots, roulette, or dice games, we've seen some people circumvent those rules and expose our community to potential harm. So we'll be making a policy update on October 18th to prohibit streaming of gambling sites that include slots, roulette, or dice games that aren't licensed either in the US or other jurisdictions that provide sufficient consumer protection. These sites will include stake.com, rollbit.com, duelbits.com, rubit.com. However, we may identify others as we move forward. We will continue to allow the websites that focus on sports betting, fantasy sports, and poker. We'll share specifics on the updates of our gambling policy soon, including the full policy language to make sure everyone is clear before they take effect on October 18th. This is a little off topic, but also a little on topic. And I'm only going to touch on it very briefly because it involves sexual things. You know what? No, not. Let's just talk about gambling on Twitch. Well, okay, so very, very briefly, there was a poker. So to be fair, I don't play poker. I don't even know how to play poker. But there was a poker match recently that was being streamed on Twitch, and this woman won, and she was bullied into a guy who said that she was cheating, into giving the winnings back. It was like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then they claimed that she was cheating because she had a vibrator in her back pocket. And I don't know. I don't know. It's like, I will just say I don't know. And then there were people on Twitter zooming into her butt, like in her pocket area, and like, oh my god, whatever. And then that led me to this chess game in which anal beads had somebody cheating, and I was like, how like, I don't understand how anal beads can help you cheat in chess, and I don't think I want to know, but it doesn't matter. The point is, they are not allowing gambling on Twitch. Okay. Unless it's poker,
but it's a weird exclusion. So you know what's funny, that you mentioned that you know how to play poker. I know how to play poker, and the reason I know how is from Nintendo of all things. There's two games that taught me poker. Gabe, by that sticker, Gabe probably knows of one of them. Super Mario 64 DS had like a bunch of mini games where Luigi owned a casino, so you could just play like Mario versions of casino games. Like Luigi would like play like a picture poker game. He would be like the dealer and everything, and he had like mushroom cards, and, like you get full house, 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, like all that good stuff. And the other game that taught me is just, I just reached it for my shelf, Clubhouse games on the DS. Because it had all those. People think that Clubhouse games on Switch is like the first game. They're like, nah. There's a few others. I used to play this like a lot. But anyway, we're getting off on a tangent. Continue.
All right. So I'm moving on. Mob Psycho. Crunchyroll has responded to Kotaku confirming that Mob will recast in season 3 of Mob Psycho 100, its final season. A Crunchyroll representative sent Kotaku an email in response to McCarley's role as Mob in season 3 of Mob Psycho 100, saying Crunchyroll is excited to bring fans worldwide the dub for the 3rd season of Mob Psycho 103 as a simul dub, the same day and date as the Japanese broadcast. We'll be producing the English dub at our Dallas production studios, and to accomplish this seamlessly per our production and casting guidelines, we will need to recast some roles. We're excited for fans to enjoy the new voice talent and greatly thank any departing cast for their contributions to previous seasons. Thoughts on this one?
Yeah, so there's a bigger story behind this recasting that's unfortunately a lot more messy than that. And it's quite simply this. So, anime voice actors are sadly not paid very well. And so to make a living, a lot of them have recently joined the SAG-AFTRA union. Now, what that does for people in the union is essentially, acting, of course, is a freelance position. So you often don't get the same benefits that you would get for a more salaried position, like, healthcare and the like, right? But SAG-AFTRA will help you get those benefits even while you're currently doing your roles. So a lot of more actors are trying to get into this union so they can have a little more security in their day-to-day life outside of their jobs, which are fleeting at best. And again, anime voice actors don't get paid well. Let me just make that perfectly clear. So Kyle McCarley, for those who don't know, obviously, you mentioned that he's the former voice actor for Mob and Mob Psycho 100. Video game players may also know him in the Fire Emblem series as being Alm in Fire Emblem Echoes, as well as Gatekeeper in Three Houses. But yeah, so he's of course.
Wow, that's him.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, cool guy. But yeah, so he was trying to basically he went to Crunchyroll and said that, hey, we need to get like a better deal going here. All he asked was basically the people of Crunchyroll to have a meeting with the SAG-AFTRA union. No, they didn't have to make any commitments whatsoever. They just needed to have a sit down and have a meeting. I don't know if you guys see on Twitter, but just a meeting is trending every now and then. But They refused to do even that much, and rather than even have the meeting with SAG-AFTRA, they just recast everybody for season 3 of Mob Psycho 100, and that's where the real story comes in. Not even that they're all getting recasted, but the fact that they wouldn't acquiesce to even a sit down to talk about the meeting. And so there's a lot of voice actors on Twitter who are all kind of like standing with Kyle McCarley on this because, you know, it's just not a good deal. And some people have cited some really atrocious examples. Like the biggest one that I can think of is that what the hell is that anime? Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen, the movie, came out in theaters, made millions of dollars in the West when it came to theaters. I think I saw that the actors who dubbed that movie only got maybe about like 150 to 200 a piece for their roles for making that much money in theaters, like the millions they made in theaters. To give you an idea,
I'm sorry, how much?
150 to 200 for their roles.
No. I need you to be specific. What are you talking in?
Like they got in total for their roles.
So you're saying, just to clarify, you're saying for the total of their roles was $100 to $200 in US dollars.
That is correct.
Okay, thank
it
you.
was only like 8 hours.
Correct.
And
yes. Yeah.
like 2 days worth of work, and you're only paid that much, and you're like,
I wanted you to be specific because all you were saying was 100 to 200. That could be 100,000. That could be 200,000. That could be $200. That could be 200 yen. Like
100 to 200 US dollars for the roles. Like Christy said, they would come do the dub for about a day or two, depending on the
depending.
role. Yeah. So obviously the more main characters probably got a little more than that, but that's the general price that they're looking for this movie that got so much. So anime voice actors are really getting a raw deal, and that's another story. But the point is they're at least trying to get like the union to like make their life a little better. And the fact that Crunchyroll and its parent company Sony Pictures is not even willing to even have these discussions is kind of gross, if I'm being perfectly frank. Because you would think that having that meeting, they would probably figure out a way that would benefit both the actors doing it and the companies themselves. Obviously, it's not going to be totally one-sided. They want to find something that works for everybody, but they're just not willing to have that conversation. And I think that's the real story behind the story in this case. But as someone that did watch Mob Psycho 100, the dub, that also does suck because I loved Kyle as Mob. He did such a great role. I'm sure whoever is now the voice of Mob will do a great job as well. But it's sad that him and I think pretty much everyone else in the cast got recasted just because of this. Frankly, greed is not right.
Yeah, I agree. And that I will actually bring up another story that's similar to this. The U.S. Labor Board has found that Activision Blizzard withheld raises over unionization.
It get worse.
Say again. Sorry.
Just when you thought it couldn't get worse.
Here it is. It's so crazy. Every week, Gabe's like, unionize, and then all these people that are unionized are getting fucked over.
I know. And then Microsoft, and I'm pretty sure like Microsoft, they're looking at their deal now. They're like, this was a bad deal.
They are getting hit at every turn, but we'll talk about them a little bit more. Gabe, if you said something I didn't hear, is it my Discord that's the problem?
No. I was stuttering on one word, that's why nothing really came out. But yes, I talk about unions every week, and yes, every week a problem with people trying to unionize happens. But it's one of those things where it's the end goal that works. Like, hold on, give me a second.
You gotta hydrate.
Like, yes, we live in a country that is very, very anti-union for a reason. But once you get that union, and it's not a government-funded union, all the bullshit you went through, you get your reparations for it.
Unless your union is full of trash members.
Yeah, it's usually.
Yeah.
Again, but that's why. But that's another thing though. That's why worker-led unions are significantly better than.
Unless
company. Well, no, because you're not going to elect someone.
Then you'd vote him
who
out.
Sucks. No, you're not going to elect someone who sucks to lead your union.
What if you thought they were good? And then they went in there.
There's a problem with you. There's a problem with you in judge of character.
There can be people who talk their way into roles. We've seen that before.
That's something in my job. But again, a union isn't led by just one person. And a good union usually holds elections more than once every 10 years. So,
This is true
Well,
too.
Activision Blizzard announced that the unionized employees would not be receiving a pay raise given to 1,100 other QA workers in July, and they've maintained that this is not an active decision made by itself, but is instead a legal issue. Quote, due to legal obligations under the National Labor Relations Act requiring employers not to grant wage increases while an election was pending, we could not institute new pay initiatives at Raven, a spokesperson told the Washington Post. Essentially, Activision Blizzard claims it legally wasn't able to offer the employees a pay raise because they were in the midst of voting to unionize. As per the Labor Board v. Exchange Part CO 375 US 405 1964. The company was found to be actively discouraging the union efforts, which is something we talked about, as they sent emails to employees that read, please vote no. It's unclear how long the negotiations between the union and Activision will go on, or how successful they will be for either side, but the move has already sparked others to follow suit. What is certain, however, is that Xbox Phil Spencer's will recognize the union if Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard goes through. This is from IGN.com, written by Ryan Dinsdale. So yeah, they said, look, we're going to give raises to everybody else, but you guys were unionizing and we can't do it because of the law. Sorry. But maybe after, when, Microsoft buys you guys, we can revisit.
work something out.
Activision, they're using Microsoft as their person to help their bail out of jail card.
Yeah, and who knows if it's gonna work? I mean, it is. If the merger goes through, it's totally gonna work.
I think that there's something else pending in New York about the merger with Microsoft and Blizzard Activision. So
Yeah, did it?
There's something every week with this merger.
Didn't Sony ask a court to review that because of the Call of Duty thing?
Yeah, it's almost as if you weren't on the last couple of podcasts. Sad times, but we're happy you're back now.
Was that a dig at me? Hold on.
No, what are you talking about?
What he is sharpening his sword as we speak.
I've been busy.
He has that whetstone ready for you.
So there was a new trailer for The Last of Us, the HBO series. So that's a thing. Also, I didn't see it.
I haven't
But
seen it either.
Brandon has endorsed it by saying it looks good, so we all have to watch it.
It does.
Netflix also shared the full cast list of the upcoming Avatar: The Last Airbender live action film, and it includes George Takei among some other very talented and prominent actors. Also, Walmart Land is a thing. It came up in Roblox.
Huh?
Yeah, Walmart has their own new immersive experience in the metaverse mega platform Roblox. And they had this big opening. Nobody showed up. Hilarious. Nobody showed up. It was really funny. If you haven't seen it, go watch the one Walmart Roblox employee running around this huge Walmart land all by himself because nobody cares. Also, Deadpool 3 is going to it gets an MCU release date, and Hugh Jackman is coming into the arena as Wolverine. I will allow comments on this one because Brandon, you seem excited.
I am very excited about this. So I enjoyed the first two Deadpool movies a lot. Very much have been looking forward to 3. Fascinated by the fact that it's gonna be part of the MCU now. I'm wondering how that's gonna go. A lot of people have joked about it, but I really think that there's actually some merit to this. I think Deadpool is just gonna do some fourth wall breaking joke and just step through a portal and he's like, hey, I'm here now, and it's gonna be that simple. I Deadpool is not the movie that's gonna you're not gonna want to think too hard about it, because even when it was part of the X-Men series, it didn't go into that too much. They're standalone movies that are just funny and they just happen to have some X-Men stuff. That's pretty much it. So I love the actual trailer. I say trailer, but it was really just a video that Ryan Reynolds just put out in his house of him just saying hey, yeah, the movie's coming out. We don't know. We don't have any ideas. Well, actually, we have one idea. Hey, Hugh, you want to be Wolverine one more time? And then while he's going up the stairs, he's like, sure, Ryan, why not? That was their announcement of Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine. And then the day later, they did another like video. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds just sat down and they're talking about like, hey, we're not touching Logan thing that happened in the future in a different timeline. We're not touching that. As far as how this is going to be an MCU, they started talking. The music went over them as they were talking, so you couldn't actually hear what they're saying, which was great.
So what do you say to people that are not feeling this? People that think, nothing will ever be canon. Logan was supposed to be done, but now anything can be an alternate timeline, and it's not as impressive as they're trying to make it feel.
Get your stick out of your ass, bro. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brandon.
Okay, well, I will take the stick out of my ass. Sorry.
I won't say it in such.
No, I was talking about me.
I won't say it.
Your ass.
Oh,
I won't say it in like just such strong words, but really, Logan was its thing, and sorry, excuse me. Wow.
Brandon, what are you about to say?
No, it's just
what are you about to say?
I'm not saying anything serious. It's just something that was in my throat. But anyway.
No,
yeah.
I mean you're about to say Logan was its own thing. So
it is its own thing. Yes.
Okay. So
yes, that's
like
exactly what
literally, so nothing matters in the MCU because we can just change whatever timeline or use a different
Logan
timeline.
Logan was not MCU, so that's.
But now the same actor is coming to the MCU as Wolverine, who was also Logan, which was supposed to be the last film. But it doesn't matter because it's not the same thing. We're just going to call it something completely different, right?
technically, with him being in the MCU, he might be a variant.
It could be a variant, but also it is lost. Like I just said about the Deadpool movies, they're not meant for you to like to get that seriously. Like the fact that. In fact, I'm just gonna go. Hold on. No. Let me finish. No. Let me finish. Let me finish. Thank you. When I said about the fact that Deadpool is going to be the MCU, I don't think even that much was meant to be taken that seriously because in the end, I think Deadpool being in the quote MCU is only going to mean that they now can have characters from the MCU in the film as opposed to being limited to like the X-Men, which by the way. Those movies didn't even really use the X-Men characters that much either. Like, the first one mentioned, like, hey, can we get some X-Men in this? And they didn't do it as a joke. And then the second movie, they had a cameo of the entire X-Men cast appear for, like, 3 seconds in the film and then just didn't deal with it. So, I think it being in the MCU is not going to matter at all. I think it's going to be a standalone film that can have cameos in the MCU now, and that's pretty much is all it's going to amount to. And it's just going to be its own thing otherwise. Now, what were you going to say?
Nothing at all. I'm moving on unless somebody else wants to talk about this.
Really quick, I actually agree with Brandon on that one because. Of course you do. But no. But for a different, well, not for a different reason, but because while having Deadpool in the MCU, it's fun and like Brandon said, you can now use the Disney Marvel characters in his movies. I don't think Deadpool will actually become not a central like figure or focal point of the MCU, like we know, like the Phase 4s and stuff. Because if you're putting Deadpool in all these movies, you have to change the rating to R because it's Deadpool. Like you can't bring him and help have him fight with the Avengers or have him show up in the next Spider-Man movie because unless you want to get a bunch of people mad and PG Deadpool. You can't really bring him into the other movies.
Well, hold on, Gabe. I agree with you, but I can also provide one counterpoint though, because that could be the joke. Like Deadpool can just like come up in one of these movies and say, "Oh, I do something really bad to you, but I'm not allowed to because of the rating of this movie." Because that's what he does.
Yeah, but then how many movies before that joke makes you want to punch a baby? Because
so they wouldn't want to. So they definitely wouldn't want
to.
Don't know how this got to punching children in the face.
What I'm saying is how many times can you hear that joke in a movie before you want to, you're like, okay, let's stop using the joke now because it's not funny anymore.
Yeah, you're right. They can't use it too much, so they can't rely on Deadpool too much because if they do, then they'll get the joke will become stale and they just, I don't again, I'm agreeing with your original point that they probably won't even have him, but if they do, they maybe like once or twice at most because that would get old really quickly. I do want to say real quick though that back in the day there was this cartoon on Disney XD called Ultimate Spider-Man, and there was an episode where Deadpool appeared and they leaned into the joke of the fact that this is a Disney cartoon so you can't do the R-rated Deadpool stuff. So he would just, so he's like, I'm going to find that guy. unalive him, and I was just like, this is great. And they had Will Friedle voice Deadpool as well, who's a lot of people know as Ron Stoppable from Kim Possible. And my God,
Oh wow.
he has done the best PG Deadpool I've ever heard for that episode. It was great. If y'all haven't watched it, you should. On Disney Plus, Ultimate Deadpool.
So basically, Deadpool doesn't matter because it's not a part of the MCU for real. So nothing that happens in there matters, which is why we can just throw Logan and anyone else in there because it doesn't matter. Great, thanks.
Yeah. Yes.
No, totally.
No, you're right.
It's almost like we're working with pieces of fiction.
Huh?
Would you like to tell us your feelings, Jarrell?
No, fuck that. I'm over it.
Fuck
I
that
don't
shit.
want to talk about it. I'm over it. Oh,
By the way,
I don't have one.
By the way, Christy, it was very difficult to like continue that conversation seeing the charity because I love charity so much.
I know. I was like sitting in the corner and
like
I'm
I was just
"All right,
watching
fine."
like every time I was like trying to
I will
like talk
not
about
argue my point because Charity's there.
charity is wonderful. I love charity.
And I don't want this to go on any longer. And like I'm just gonna tell them how they're all wrong and Marvel's stupid.
Yeah, welcome back, Gabe.
All right.
Hey Gabe, I missed you. Thank you for coming back.
Only
I
because
missed you
he
guys too.
disagreed with you. Like what? All right, whatever. Stranger Things. Caleb McLaughlin had called out bigotry and racism within the show's fandoms from BuzzFeed.net. Quote: "Why am I the least favorite, the least amount of followers? I'm on the show as much as everybody from season 1." And he went on to talk about just how hard it is for him as an actor and the racism that he's had to receive in the community that have really prevented him from continuing on in the same vein as some of the other actors and actresses within Stranger Things. And yeah, that was a whole thing. You should definitely check it out. It was at BuzzFeed News. He does a really wonderful speech about just his experience and all of that. And it's definitely sad to see, but he's doing really well. At least it seems like he's been able to navigate it. It just sucks. Also, I had lots of complaints about the horrible lighting on his character in season whatever is the last one, and Netflix do better.
Sorry, season 4.
Oh, Quattro, you said. Okay.
Yeah, Quattro.
So Blizzard is interested in exploring brand crossovers similar to those seen in Fortnite with Overwatch 2. Nobody cares. Moving on.
I don't care.
There was this really... I would have cared if the damn
if they
game
didn't
worked.
if they merged my
But it
game.
doesn't. And I lost all my shit. So I don't care anymore. And that's why we're moving on.
That's right.
There was this really
Move on,
weird
Joe.
looking, like... Weird, like... I can't say what it looks like to me. Weird new Pokemon revealed called Wiglet. And I am
Wiglet!
uncomfortable with its presentation.
I'm gonna just say this: the trailer for
A little
Wiglet.
garden eel.
It looks like...
It is based on a garden.
Never mind.
It's based on a garden eel, Jarrell. And as I was
You don't
saying,
even know what I was going to say.
No,
You literally don't
you
know
know
what
what?
I was gonna
You
say.
know what?
Eel.
I made an inference, and I'm just gonna go with that inference and run with it. And so's the audience. And so, anyway,
But he's really based on the little garden eel.
yes, indeed, it is based on a garden eel. And initially, I wasn't. Initially, I wasn't feeling Wiglet either. But I'm so easy to please, and I'll tell you how easy I am to please. I watched the trailer for Wiglet, the 40-second trailer for Wiglet, and in the trailer, Wiglet comes out of a hole in the beach and just looks at a Diglett, and they just kind of like smile at each other, and I'm like, they're friends. And honestly, that's all it took. That's all it took. I like Wiglet now. That's it. That's all it took.
Sorry, Joe was being a meanie in chat.
I am not looking at chat. I'm in the
Yeah.
moment having this conversation. I don't know what.
Oh my god.
I don't know
I
what you're
don't.
talking
The
about.
only thing I'm gonna say about Wiglet is I don't like the way he comes out. Not comes out of things. The way he like stands out of the sand.
Mhm.
It looks really weird. It looks like Shuckle without a shell.
Oh no!
You don't like
Yeah.
when it comes out,
Oh no!
That's your
Gabe.
mouth, Joe.
Gabe? Yeah,
Damn
I
it.
just asked the question.
Now I'm
Did you
back
say
to
you don't like
damn
the
it! That's
Wiglet comes
all you
out?
had to say was that,
Not the
Gabe,
way he
and now
comes
I'm.
out is the way he like.
Oh,
I guess
what?
his stand when he's out and about.
Can you do the movement again?
I'm not doing the movement again.
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
I just want
No.
a visual representation.
No.
the Shuckle coming out of the Shuckle without a shell. Now I'm back to neutral. I was down on Wiglet, then I was positive, and now him saying it looks like a Shuckle without a shell. I'm back to neutral on Wiglet. Dang it!
That's crazy because it's literally the same color and everything. Bet.
It is not. Shuckle is yellow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What
That's
are you
not what I was
talking
talking about.
Moving on.
Brandon, you don't even know what I'm talking about.
I don't want to. Please move on.
What?
I demand that you move on.
I was talking about a slug, okay? Anyway.
Slugma's. I like Slugma though. Slugma's a cool Pokemon.
Slugma's ugly.
I love Slugma.
I believe you.
Yeah.
I believe that you love Slugma. So Overwatch 2 players will also have to play around 100 matches to unlock the original game's heroes. Another reason that I won't be playing Overwatch 2 because I don't want to play 100 matches to unlock all the characters I've already had.
Really?
Tom Hanks, yes. But the good thing is those matches are pretty fast, so I don't know how long it'll take because usually Overwatch matches are pretty fast. But according to IGN, new players, including me currently, will have to play around 100 matches to unlock all the original game's heroes.
Oh, because I unlocked the hero after my first match.
Yes, all of them. To unlock all of them, you'll have to play around 100 matches.
But there's 32 characters. Oh, well, I'm guessing it gets longer and longer.
It's like I'm assuming. Because
it's okay. I only play Reinhardt. I don't need anything else. Bless you.
Thank you. Oh
You're
my
welcome.
god. Can you imagine? Like that's what. Never mind. In an interview with People magazine promoting his upcoming novel, The Making of Another Major Motion Picture Masterpiece, Tom Hanks quipped, "I've made a ton of movies, and 4 of them are pretty good, I think." He's made like over 80 movies. So, quick, everybody, name one good Tom Hanks film. One of the ones he's talking about. Go.
Forrest Gump.
I was going to say Toy Story as well too. But
Let's go, Christy!
All right, Toy Story and Forrest Gump. Those are 2 of the 4. We got it. Valve has listed
terminal's pretty good too.
Sale dates for autumn, winter, and spring. So you should check those out. And of course, Google has also announced that they will be shutting down Stadia on January 18th, 2023. Something all of us have been waiting for quite a while. Just very confused as to why it took so long. And here we are.
We've been eagerly awaiting the cancellation of Stadia.
Like, we said it was gonna happen a year ago. We said this. You go back and listen to those HPCritical podcast episodes. We called this.
I just love it. Now because you say that, I'm just getting the idea of like the next Stadia Connect just we're announcing Stadia's canceled and people getting hyped over that like a Smash reveal. Like, yeah!
That's so sad.
No, it's not.
I do want to call out something that they're doing. They did say that they will be refunding all Stadia hardware purchases made through the Google Store and all game and add-on content purchases made through the Stadia Store. Players will continue to have access for to their games library and play through January 18, 2023, so they can complete final play sessions. We expect the majority of refunds completed by the mid-January 2023. And then they also said that they wanted to move a lot of the individuals working at Stadia to different parts of the company within Google so that they wouldn't completely lose their jobs. So all of this is... I read some things that like maybe those people are not going to be moved to different companies within Google. I don't know how true that is, but I will say... Excuse me, oh my god. I will say that it's really great to be able to have people get their money back for the peripherals that they paid for, and as well as get a refund for all the games that they bought through Stadia, because they could have easily just been like, we're shutting down, we're sorry, you've lost all the money you spent, right? Like, you bought a Founders Pack, good luck, get fucked. But, I mean, this is very nice of them. I mean, honestly, they probably held on to your money because they knew it was coming. But, like, so they've got it there. Plus, it's Google. They have all the money. It's fine.
The refund policy at least is a nice because obviously everyone was predicting that it was going to fail, and also that it was going to like all former Google products that would just keep your money after their failure. So the fact that at least that only one of those things was actually true is nice, and thankfully it's the one that's not as bad. Like, it's gone, but if you did get into Stadia and try to invest into it, at least you're not losing all your money that you had spent. And as a little follow-up to this as well, I think Ubisoft had also mentioned that they're currently working with Google right now to see if they can see if you can, if you bought like Ubisoft games on Stadia, to transfer those over to your PC, which
that would be nice.
It would be nice, like for those who have that option, to be able to play their games on a good PC. At least they'd be able to keep the games that way, as opposed to full refunds. Which, that's the nuclear option. It's better than nothing, because you don't want to have have spent all your money and then just be amount to nothing. So for them to at least have the potential to be able to take their games on another platform that they might play, cool. Now, that being said, I actually have a question. I don't know if anyone can answer it, though. But how many... I'm not even going to say, how many Ubisoft games have come out on Stadia? How many Assassin's Creed games have come out on Stadia? Actually, better question. When did Stadia come out? Was that like 2019 that came out?
No, I think it was like last year.
It's definitely
like 2020 or 20.
No, Stadia's been on for a while.
2020 sounds... No.
When did Google Stadia come out?
I want to say 2019. I want to say.
Oh wow, yeah, it's 2019, November 2019.
Okay, cool. So it's been around for 3-ish years. So whatever Assassin's Creed game came out 2019, so maybe like 2 or 3 may have come out. Now, how I know for sure came out on Stadia. I don't know why I asked this question, but like I
have no idea.
Like the reason, I don't know where I was going. The main I know where I was going. This, like, I was trying to see how many Ubisoft games could a person have potentially bought, and I figured narrowing it down to Assassin's Creed would make it easier. But there have been a lot of other Ubisoft games that have come out since then, like Far Cry 6, for example, and I think a Watch Dogs may have as well. Yeah. I think the library managed to actually be pretty extensive, actually. So if people just went ham on Ubisoft on Stadia, that'd be a nice option. Anyway, you may continue. I'm sorry about that.
No problem. To just put some context on a previous story I talked about, top Twitch streamers were Pokimane, Ms. Kith. They threatened to strike after there was a $200,000 gambling scam that was going on, which is why Twitch came out with the no gambling on Twitch thing. Only because their top streamers were like, we won't stream, and they were like, oh no, real consequences for our actions. We have to do something.
Oh dear, oh dear.
And then, of course, there was the there's a lot of news, so I'm just going through a lot of it. There was, of course, the Twitch confirmed the changes to the revenue split, which is going to be starting in June 2023. They will not offer a 70-30 split anymore. Streamers with a 70-30 split will get a 50-50 split after earning $100,000. They cite video hosting costs as a reason to move away from the 70-30. So anyone who was making 70% and giving Twitch to 30%, and they make over 100,000 are now doing 50-50, so they are losing 20% of the income that they were previously making, and 20% of $100,000 is quite a pretty penny, because Twitch said that they have to pay for the hosting costs. So, yeah, Amazon, you're so broke that you can't afford to pay people what they were earning before and should continue to be earning. Ed Sheeran has a song for the new Pokemon game called Celestial. Anybody heard it? Anybody care?
Yeah, I have heard it. It's fire.
Ooh, Marissa would disagree, but she is not here.
Yeah. So therefore, I am the definitive voice. HPCritical.
Take that, Marissa. Take that.
Talk about. Come on, next episode, Marissa. We can discuss.
So Lil Nas X also is performing the new League of Legends anthem, which comes with an awesome music video, since we're talking about music and video games. The teaser trailer for Mario will come out October 6th, and a lot of people have been talking about how poor Mario has absolutely no ass. So maybe we'll get a maybe we'll get a Sonic redo if we can just, pressure the studio into putting some buns on my poor guy.
Another delay for this movie.
And this was a talking point in my office this morning.
We love it. Mario ain't got enough ass. What are y'all doing? He's an Italian man. There should be a little bump back there at least. Also,
with all the other stuff he does, yeah.
Exactly. The man is he's in shape. Those thighs, there's no reason he shouldn't have a rump up back there. There will also be a Pokemon Scarlet and Violet trailer on the same day. We're getting another trailer. I know that Gabe is sick of Pokemon trailers. Gabe, can you quickly tell us what the issue is with all these Pokemon trailers? Why do you feel the way you do?
They're not giving you any information. They're just showing you the stupid... Sorry, let me stop stupid game. They're just showing you the damn game over and over again. Like, this is trailer what? Number 6? Number 7?
Something like that.
That's too much. The game was announced when? November, not November. It was announced what? It was the
Pokemon
beginning of this
Day.
year, right?
Pokemon Day. I'm sorry.
So
Which
it was this year, though, right?
So the end of February. Yes, this year.
Yeah, stop. We don't need a new trailer every month. Did I answer your question?
I mean, you said your piece, that's for sure.
Yeah.
8 trailers on a single game?
I'm sorry.
In
Like,
8 months?
dude,
A trailer every month? What's
the thing
wrong
is-
with you people?
The thing is, these trailers aren't necessarily giving you information on the game. It's how many new Pokemon have we seen?
Like 5.
Like 5, and there's been about 8 trailers.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know if there's going to be breeding in the game?
We don't.
Do we know what we had Mega Evolution, we had
Yes, we know.
we had Red, we know.
Terastallizing, yes.
See, I didn't even know what the fuck it was.
That was a whole ass trailer.
Yeah. One of those.
Maybe
Trailers
I
are boring.
should watch the trailer.
So that's the thing, I do watch the trailers, but like I'm not gonna pay attention if it's boring. But yeah, we're not really getting that much information on the game. Like, yeah, the game looks nice, but you can make a game could look beautiful and it's gonna be poopy. Like,
He
Breath
says that
of
there's
the
so many
Wild.
trailers. He hasn't seen the last trailer.
No, because I'm gonna stop watching after number 2. I don't need that many trailers. Like,
I don't think Breath of the Wild looks poopy anymore. I have an OLED Switch now. It's beautiful. I can't tell
before
that
I
it looks
had
poopy
these-
because this is on an OLED. Well, yeah, because when you throw that shit on a 65-inch TV screen and you're just like, ooh, texture's bad.
very bad pixels popping out.
But then you put it on the OLED Switch and it's like, damn, good job, guys.
Vibrant colors, yes.
All about perspective.
Look, all I want to know real quick is if since Chris got the plush, if Wooloo's coming back, I need to bring Wooloo to come back.
Yeah, they migrated from Britain.
I will say that
Actually, sorry, really quick. We don't even know if Charizard's in the game. We need to know if Charizard's in the game.
Listen, Gabe.
All
It's
I know
Charizard. He's
is that
probably gonna be in the
you.
game.
We don't know that.
All I will say is that I do agree with you that some of these trailers have been completely unnecessary because they have shown absolutely nothing. I will agree with that.
I like it when Drill agrees with me.
However, I don't. Ah, fuck! I forgot what I was gonna say. I completely forgot what I was gonna say. Dang it. Yeah, no, I don't remember, so I'll just move on. Damn, what was I gonna say? Something. I think it was. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. However, I do like that they are not showing us too much because I think something that they learned with Sword and Shield is that we prefer to not have all the new Pokemon shown. We prefer to have some mystery. We prefer to go in and explore. It's kind of like why you love Breath of the Wild. Like, I'm assuming that one of the reasons you love Breath of the Wild is the exploration, the being able to go around every corner, explore, learn new things, see new things.
I actually want to ask Gabe something since you mentioned that. I want to ask Gabe something
Same.
specific. So
No.
I'm sure. Okay, cool. Glad we got that cleared up. So I'm sure you remember back in E3 2016 when Nintendo basically had no games except Breath of the Wild, and they did all those tree houses where they essentially just showed off different aspects of the Great Plateau, but nothing beyond the Great Plateau. In your opinion, do you think that was a good way to show off Breath of the Wild?
No.
Explain.
I mean, okay. But see, I'm saying this after playing Breath of the Wild. But if that's what you're showing off for Breath of the Wild, then I mean, yeah, because you're showing how great one area can be. But let's be honest, how much was there to do in the Great Plateau that was, not just exploring or fighting?
But the whole point is to not spoil the experience for people that want to explore the world.
And yeah, I get that, but like if that's what you're going for, you don't need to release too many videos on it. Like, just let your fans be uptight and be like, we're not getting any videos. Well, you know what? Because you're going to be seeing the same thing over and over again. And with Nintendo fans, and this is remember, I'm saying with Nintendo fans, not with gamers, not with PlayStation, specifically Nintendo fans. If it's not Splatoon, you cannot satisfy the fan base. You're either going to have a bunch of fans that are complaining that we're not getting enough trailers, which the Breath of the Wild fan base, I want to punch all of them because it's always, oh my gosh, we're getting Breath of the Wild news, and they don't get it, and they're like, look, we know the game's coming, relax. So it's either we're not getting enough trailers, or we're being showcased too many things that isn't showcasing anything. And there seems to be no happy medium with Nintendo fans.
Sure.
So it's like
that much I can agree with. There is no happy medium with Nintendo fans.
So
there will always be someone that's upset about something, whether there's too many trailers. Like Gabe, to your point earlier about Pokemon stuff, I know you're happy about the 6 trailers. I can guarantee you that if we had only 2 trailers up into from launch to now, there would be a lot of upset Pokemon fans. But
well, okay, but there's a reason for that, because Pokemon is different than Breath of the Wild. Right now, I've already said that I think that some of the trailers have been nonsense because they've shown nothing, and I completely agree. I am one of the people that does not want to see everything because I think Sword and Shield was so good at not showing everything.
I agree too.
However, there are so many different aspects of Pokemon that you have to have enough trailers to cover different things. Right, and not only that, but a lot of times Pokemon will, and I hate that I'm defending them right now because I was just talking shit about this, but a lot of times Pokemon will let you know what is gonna happen. Like, they'll tell you beforehand that this is going to be a trailer revealing a brand new Pokemon from the game. So it's not like we're all dialing in to watch, like, whether there's going to be breeding or not. We know exactly that this is going to be a trailer for a brand new Pokemon. And then, they have the big gimmick, which is going to be terastallizing. They gave us that trailer. They gave us the trailer of the reveal of the starters, which obviously you're going to need. That they gave us the trailer of choose your own adventure. How are we going to play this game? Here's 3 different ways to play this game. That's 3 of the 5 trailers that they've already given. So at least 3 of those trailers have just been complete information. They gave us a trailer of a brand new Pokemon. That's another one. So there have been sections of those trailers that have been unnecessary. Of course, I don't give a shit about Cloth, the disgusting, ugly, nasty crab with hair coming out of his fucking arms. I don't give a shit about it.
He also does not like Wiglet.
I think I can grow to like Wiglet. It reminds me of my times when I enjoyed shell. What's the Pokemon?
You got it.
Sheldon.
Shelder? What does Shelder have to do with Wiglet?
Didn't you say that?
No, you're talking about
Shuckle.
Oh, I'm not Shuckle. Yes. Oh my god. Yeah.
Fake Pokemon fan.
Fake Pokemon fan. Yeah. It reminds me of my time that I like Shuckle. I am now devoted to a single Shuckle, so I don't rotate Shuckles anymore. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, there are different whatever. Let's move on. Unless anybody else.
One last thing.
I do want to ask Christy too, but go ahead.
One thing, just to go back to the Breath of the Wild thing real quick that Gabe was mentioning, because I actually agree with what he was saying, is as far as having way too many tree houses. I mean, I agree and I disagree, because at the same time, they never went past the Great Plateau, and each treehouse did show something a little bit different. But at the same time, it was a lot of freaking treehouse videos, that E3. But that, I think, speaks to the dire straits that Nintendo was in 2016. That's literally all they had. They're like, the Wii U, this is the last year of the Wii U. Everyone knew it was a failed console at this point. People were just eagerly awaiting the next system. Nintendo couldn't tell you what it was at the time. So all they really had was this one game that they knew everybody was excited for. So for better and for worse, they're like, it's Breath of the Wild channel for the next 3 days. We're telling you all about this game that you've been waiting so many years to find out about. So, whether it's good or bad, I mean, it's up for debate, but it's the only card they had, and they played it so much. Anyway, go on. You're going to ask Christy?
Yeah, so Christy, how do you feel about the Pokemon trailer so far, being a Pokemon fan?
I'm fine with them.
Do you think there's been too many? You think they've been, they're totally fine as is? Are you one of the players that doesn't want to see more, or do you want to see more? Or you're just everything they're doing is perfect?
I mean, I'm fine with whatever they give to us. I'm pretty much very easy to please.
Yeah, that's
I love that. I love that.
Okay.
I heard a sheep talk in this chat.
I love that.
No, the sheep is right
I'm
here.
kidding. No, that's not a sheep. That's Wooloo.
It's a sheep Pokemon. It's so fluffy.
Plus, we get to see Flying Pikachu.
It's true.
That's
true.
Fair point.
Every trailer reminds you that Flying Pikachu is coming to the game. So, that's all you need to please Christy. Your Pikachu, and especially a Flying Pikachu. With balloons!
A Flying Pikachu or a Surfing Pikachu. I am content. At this point, I am content.
I love Pikachu. So Sony has announced a Horizon Netflix series, a God of War series on Amazon, and a Gran Turismo show.
Interesting.
You know what's weird? Of those three, maybe it's because I have like a guilty pleasure of really enjoying the Fast and Furious movies. I'm
Or
really
you dare
curious.
say Gran Turismo? Don't you dare say Gran Turismo? Don't you dare!
I can't wait.
Oh
To see,
my
I can't wait. To
God.
see, I can't wait to see Kratos riding in a car.
Oh, okay.
I can't wait to see Kratos played by Vin Diesel getting into a car. Yeah.
Family.
Let's go,
Also,
boy.
Herman Hulst said that there will be at least a year between PlayStation console and PC game releases, with exception to live service games. Those will be day and date with PC and console. So people have been concerned about exclusivity on PlayStation. There you go. There will be at least a year between PlayStation exclusive games coming to PC. So PlayStation players, you still get your year of exclusivity unless it is a live service title.
I mean, it was writing on the
Fuck
wall.
you, Xbox.
I'm surprised that they gave because for a while it was just like PlayStation game. Like obviously I'm still in a point where it's crazy to me that these Sony exclusives are even coming to PC. Obviously they've done a few at this point, but it's still crazy to me. But now we have like hard dates of when they could potentially come out. Like we heard now, a year later is when they could. Because we had to wait a while for some of these PC ports for the Sony games. Like Horizon, like we talked about last podcast, they had just come to PC after being out since 2017. God of War just came to PC after being out for about 4 years. So the fact that it's now going to be as soon as a 1 year turnaround for some of these games, I mean, PC fans be eating now. I see that they could get it that soon potentially. Like they don't have to wait 4 or 5 years. Maybe it could be as soon as 1 year for them to play this big PlayStation exclusive on their PC.
They could have put this stuff on the PC same day and date if they wanted to.
If they wanted to, but Sony ain't gonna do that. It's pulling teeth enough for them to even get it on PC. So for them, that's why I'm so surprised that they say a year, because you're giving like people like, because now people know like, oh shit. So I can play Ragnarok in 2023. Bet. I'll wait.
That is not how that works at all.
But people are gonna think that with that message.
That is not. I completely disagree with you.
You don't think people are gonna think that?
No, it depends. I don't at all think that. However, I do think it depends on the game, because we know that PlayStation is sold via games.
Yes.
Like, people are super excited for Ragnarok. Nobody who has a PlayStation is going to wait a year to play Ragnarok.
Oh, no. I'm not talking about
person.
PlayStation. I'm not talking about PlayStation owners. I'm talking about PC owners who don't want to buy a PlayStation are now saying that.
Oh, but also they probably can't get a PlayStation anyway. So, like, it doesn't matter.
That's also true. Even if they wanted one, then yeah, they probably couldn't.
The Medium, the game, is going to be turned into a TV show as well, supervised by Thomas Basinski, the executive producer of The Witcher on Netflix. There was a lot of news recently. I'm trying to get through as much of it as possible because we are running out of time. Orion is a codename for the next Cyberpunk game, which will take the Cyberpunk franchise further and continue harnessing the potential of this dark future universe.
Let's go. Cyberpunk 2078. Let's go.
Also, there is a new IP code named Hadar. This is a bunch of CD Projekt Red announced. They're also announcing Project Cyrus, which is going to be a Witcher project. They also announced Project Polaris, which is going to be a Witcher 3 sequel, a part of a new trilogy. They also announced Project Canis Majoris, which is a new story-driven Witcher open-world RPG, and Project Orion, which is the Cyberpunk 2077 sequel. So CD Projekt Red is going to be very, 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 very busy.
Very busy.
I will take some time to talk about this one because this is a pretty big deal. I know we have some Witcher fans. I know we have some Cyberpunk fans, some CD Projekt Red fans. How do you guys feel about all these announcements?
So obviously them having all these announcements for these games, that's pretty cool, because CD Projekt Red, when their games are given the time they need to flourish, turn out very well and have a lot of content to them. But I must express one concern though, because while their games are of high quality, it do be taking a long time for each of these individual games to come out. Witcher 3 obviously it's been out for years, but it did take a while for that one to come out following Witcher 2. And Cyberpunk 2077 was in development for years. So, announcing all these games, great. When do we expect these games to actually come out though? Like, we're not talking soon. we're talking like this is like some long-term stuff they must be talking about. And moreover, is their development studio even? I'm ignorant about like the behind the scenes of CD Projekt Red, to be perfectly clear. How big is their studio that they can do all these projects simultaneously and get them out in a semi-reasonable fashion?
They have, if I'm not mistaken, they have multiple studios working on each one.
Okay.
So it's like Cyberpunk was a specific studio, like those people that are working on Cyberpunk. There's also a studio for The Witcher. What is funny?
Christy adjusted her camera and it went right back. I found it funny because I was like, whoop.
Wow.
Sorry. To put my piece in this, I'm just glad I have all this time. I was just quiet, so I needed to fill the quiet. I'm just glad I have all this time to finish these big ass games. I mean, I know The Witcher's been out for a while, but I don't think I've ever gotten like even to the halfway point of it. So I'm happy I have all this time, and I'm happy there's more games in the series coming. Cyberpunk, despite its very rocky start, I played on PC, has actually been very visually appeasing to me, and the story's kind of building up now. I don't play it as often as I should, but I'm excited.
Cool.
Concerns. I think they need to stop working on.
Really?
Okay.
They need to stop. They need to
Sorry,
stop making
let me
games.
Stop making games. No,
Shut in the studio right now.
Cut that shit off now. Stop it. No, I'm just kidding. I think that one of the issues with Cyberpunk was that they didn't have enough time, and there was a little bit of crunch, and they had a lot of issues with saying, hey, this game is not done. And for a company to be making this many games, presumably simultaneously, y'all need to not. Like, you need to probably split. I don't know how many studios are working on this, but y'all need to split that shit and just have two studios working on two separate games, like merge them or something, and have an actual plan of action. So what
you're saying, Jarrell, is that the next Witcher game needs to be a crossover with Cyberpunk. Let's go.
No,
Gerald and Rivia is going to a portal into the Cyberpunk.
If they had to choose between which one of those two games to work on, it's got to be Witcher.
For sure. I just like the idea, like Gerald, like because Witcher 3 was so popular, he crossed over into so many games for a while, like Soul Calibur 6 being the most notable. So I just love the idea that he falls into another portal and ends up into like the Cyberpunk.
The future.
No, I was mostly saying that for a company that condemned crunch, this sounds like there's crunch in their future. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Right.
The EU Parliament has now formally passed a new law which will require all wired chargers for smartphones, tablets, and cameras to utilize USB-C by 2024. RIP iPhone. Also, Build-A-Bear has introduced their 25th celebration NFT collection because Build-A-Bear is smart. Like, I don't know what is going on. Like, honestly, I have no idea what's going on. And we talked about Overwatch having DDoS attacks on their servers. Elon Musk is buying Twitter. I feel like I'm missing some stuff. But we are overtime, actually. So unfortunately, we will not be able to play a game of Video Game 20 Questions because we have run out of time. I will mention two more things that I didn't get to. Three more things, actually. Phasmophobia. There was a couple of events in Phasmophobia that I didn't mention. I will have to bring them up, hopefully, at a later time when Kelly's here, because I would love to get her opinion on that. But there were some issues of behaviors of people within the development team that we will cover at a later date. Activision's controversial CCO will step down ahead of Microsoft's proposed acquisition. It has been confirmed. Sweet. Something we didn't get to talk about, but it's going to happen. And finally, Did somebody say something?
Yeah, I said he's up and down. Sweet.
Okay. And finally, Bleach: The 1,000-Year Blood War will be available on Hulu in the U.S. and on Disney Plus internationally, and if I'm not mistaken, has been officially removed from Crunchyroll as of talking about this.
Yeah, everything.
I don't care about Bleach. I don't know why I said what like that. Sorry.
I was like, damn, yeah. We're going through Bleach.
What? I don't care.
Not the anime, the manga, because it's faster to get through the manga.
That is true.
Excuse me. And with that, it is about that
It's
time.
about that time.
I will give you guys one last chance. If there's any topic you had something to say on, but you didn't get to say it, now is your time.
Are you sure you
Fine,
want to open that up?
thank
Because I got about like 2 months of topics I wasn't able to talk about.
Wait. Christy was first. What?
Flying Pikachu is coming to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and that is it. Goodbye.
Okay, Gabe, you have one chance for one topic.
I'm not gonna
And
do
you
it because it's gonna take too long. I'll do it.
30 seconds.
I'll do it when I'm back. No, 30 seconds is too short.
What is it about? Now you have to. at
Bro,
least-
I just wanna gush over Breath of the Wild 2, its latest trailer.
Oh yeah, you missed it. You missed it, bro.
Yeah.
For anyone who's listening, I now know all about the Zelda timeline, so I am an expert, somewhat. I know all about the Zelda timeline. Ask me questions, I can answer them. Maybe.
I'm still here. Ask me questions first, though. Just I want to feel special.
And finally, Brandon, anything that we missed that you want to talk about really quickly?
This is the wrong anime sword, but for all my Bleach fans, I'm just gonna say Getsuga Tensho! That's all.
That's not a Bleach sword. Oh, this is the wrong
I
anime
literally
sword.
said that.
Pedro.
Look like a Bleach sword, Brandon.
I don't own a Bleach sword. I'm sorry.
Wow, fake fan.
I am a fake fan. I haven't gotten into the series yet. I'm literally going through the manga now so I can catch up. Damn it. I'm trying.
I will always tell you
Bleach fans, I love
to
you. I'm also
follow
sorry.
your dreams.
The Soul Society arc is very good. That's currently where I'm at right now.
And then maybe next week we can also talk about the GTA 6 leaks. But as of now, that's it for us. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly's not here. Wow. Thank
We
you,
miss you,
Brandon. We miss you, Kelly. Thank you, Brandon. And thank you, Gabe. And thank you, Christy. Yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for us, lovely people. Until next time. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Everyone has their fleshy out.
Everybody has a what? Like
Has a-
I don't have a
Draw
So-
quick.
I don't have-
I'm reaching for the button. Oh, you don't have one. All right.
I don't. There's nothing in my vicinity. I'm sorry.
Say bye,
It's too far away.